Hello everyone, in this session we are going to go over HTML basics. We are going to follow the tutorial here, the PowerPoint here, and then firstly go over the basic information about HTML in concept. Then we are going to start to make our own first HTML file. Okay, in the chapter of the book, it mentioned about what we are going to learn from this chapter. In this chapter, we are going to learn to use HTML5 to create a web page, and then add images, add links, add lists, tables, and forms. Again, mentioned in this page, we are going to go over the most important parts, including the basic HTML creating, and then adding content, including paragraph and headings, then links and images. After that, lists, tables, and forms. As we know, the name of HTML is Hypertext Markup Language. Then how can we actually create an HTML file? We just need to use a text editor to create a file, but with the extension name of .html. Such text editor includes Notepad, TextEdit, or Emacs. There are a lot of code as examples in the folder. We can look at them later on. Okay, so now we are going to start to make our first HTML example. We are going to use the code here. Firstly, we want to look into the code. What is the meaning of the code? Then we are going to start to make this notepad file. As we see, at the beginning of the line 1 here, it is document type HTML. It says that this is an HTML file, and it is actually HTML5. The document type declaration, doc type, is required in HTML5 documents, so the browser knows that it is HTML5 and renders the page in standard mode. In the previous little code, you see there are things like this with the type looking like this, and these are comments. We can insert comments to improve readability and also describe the content of a document. In the example here, these parts are comments, and the part that is not starting with this are code. As we see in the file, it includes the head and the body. That is how the inventor actually created such a document. HTML contains two parts, head and body. In the head, here, in this one, it mentions the character size is UTF-8 and the title is welcome. The title is going to be shown above the content. In the browser, it's going to be up in the head. That's why maybe this is called head. And then in the body, it shows welcome to HTML5 as a paragraph. That is the main content in the HTML. So as you can see, the title here is the welcome character displayed here, and in the body is welcome to HTML5 displayed in here. We see there are a lot of text when we read an HTML file, especially if it's large, you are going to see many of these texts. So these are HTML text. The keyword of this programming language include head and body, and a few HTML like a few others. So these are called HTML text. Each HTML tag starts with the description of the word and then finish with slash and the word. And both of these tags are named start and end tags. Many start tags can also have attributes, and that attributes provide additional information about an element. So each attribute has a name and a value. If they have a name and value, they are going to separate it by the equal sign like this. Again, here it talks about the title element is called a nested element because it's enclosed in the head element start and end text. Here we know HTML can be nested. In the head, we can also have title. Okay, and then in the body, as you see, there are paragraph elements. All text placed between the paragraph forms one paragraph. So those are going to be a group of text. Well, so here we also talk about sometimes there are errors. If there are errors, then it may not to be able to render correctly. Okay, actually, other than the paragraph, there can be also headings and other few important stuff, but we are going to create an HTML file as an example here. If we use WordPad to create such a file, for example, if we are going to create a folder here, and we are going to put my web page here called my web page, then inside we can firstly create a new and then hopefully where we can choose the text document, and then here we can name it as my page. Then if you double click and open it and then click save as, we need to choose the name as all files, and then here my page.html. Okay, and then we save it. After you save it my page.html, like in here, we should be able to open, right click, and then open with Google Chrome. You are going to see it's called my page.html, and right now there is nothing written inside yet. To edit it, well, we can kind of delete. Right now we can delete this one. To edit it, we can right click and then click open with, and then click notepad. Then we can add what we want to put in here right up here. The first code we want to add is, well, let's follow the examples. In the HTML basics, we have the chapter 2, and inside we have the first example, which is the main code. If you right click and click open with, then choose notepad. Below here, as you know, these are comments, and we can add the code in here. We already know the meaning of the code, so we are going to put it right up here. Then we click save. The information should be already saved if you refresh it. Welcome to HTML5, and we have our first web page. It's called Welcome, and the content is Welcome to HTML5. Okay, that's the little introduction about how to create our first HTML code and web page.